We live.
What up, my brother? How
What's
we
up,
feeling?
man?
How we doing?
Man, I'm having one of those great days, man. One of those long days, but it's a great day. And great things happen earlier. Like I said before, it seems to carry out through the rest of the day. I ride that wave of energy, man, for sure.
Indeed, brother. Indeed. This is episode 6 of Generational Healing with Tiger Carper and Matthew Pierce. What's up to everybody in the world watching? We appreciate you. We hope this finds you well, and we're gonna have a beautiful conversation today. So, my man Tiger,
Yes,
um,
sir.
there are quite a few people that I've recently met in my life that are truly inspirations to me as men.
Mm,
For the first time in my life, I feel like I have a circle of men around me that uplift me, love me, for me, want to see me grow, want to see me continue my evolution.
mm,
And I just have a beautiful support system of men around me.
mm.
And you are one of the men that I'm talking about. Um, so, with that being said, today's episode is going to be talking about truly tapping into what makes you, I, others we have as men great, and what it truly means to be a good man, a great man, and tap into our divine masculinity. And
Divine masculinity. Gratitude, family.
of course,
Gratitude,
because
gratitude.
I think that in the world we live in today, let me rephrase that. I know that in the world we live in today, a lot of men are perceived as toxic. A lot of men are perceived as, kind of just,
Narcissistic,
yeah,
uh,
not looked at in the best
misogynist.
light. Yeah, it's not looked at in any good light, and I really
Correct.
think that it's a shame because a lot of the men I know have so much potential,
Mm.
and I feel like a lot of the world keeps them down and shuns them from stepping into their true capability.
Absolutely.
Um, Part of what we try to do every day and what we do for each other every day is promote good practice and good things for ourselves so we can truly love each other as
Hmm.
well as ourselves, so we can truly appreciate the men in our life.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
so
And also being able to get along with a woman. You know what I mean? Now society is pitted man against women. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's a, I can't even say a love hate relationship. When you hear most of these things online, it's man versus woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely needed. You definitely need to tap into uh, both sides of the energy in order to be able to get along with a divine feminine, right? When the
right.
divine masculine and the divine feminine come together, man, some powerful things can happen.
Indeed, brother, indeed. And it's all about that balance, right? I mean, one
Yes,
cannot
sir.
work without the other, and the point of it all is to find that balance so the creation can continue and lineage can continue in these healthy ways, right?
Yes, sir.
So that being said, I think it's about time that we bring on our guest. Our guest today is another divine masculine and another one of our beautiful men in the community. And without further ado, Tiger, if you could bring him in the building.
There you
Peace, man.
go.
Peace, family. What's going on?
What's up, Juan?
Peace to the
So,
God.
Man,
my brother, welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to be around your energy today, speak with you, and I'm excited for people that may not know you or people that do know you. Anybody who this reaches to experience the energy output that you give, because it is a truly peaceful and beautiful, necessary energy. More people will could benefit from. So, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself a little bit, and I'll leave the floor to you.
For sure. Peace, y'all. And I appreciate y'all having me on here, man. Much love and light and gratitude just for y'all existence. So yeah, for the ones that don't know me, um, my name is Trevante, but my nickname is Vant. And I know a lot of people, they see my Facebook name, and some people call me Vo, and they just don't even know, what I'm saying, what my real name is. So I'm known as Vant, though, in my community. And I transitioned back in 2018, to this life, and I really just been doing it better for my health, my children's health, and it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a beautiful journey along the way. You know? So I feel like this topic right here that we on, man, like it's such a very important topic that needs to be discussed because I wasn't always like this, coming into this lifestyle. So yeah, man, like I really just appreciate y'all for having me on here so that we can spread some love and some light, some insight, you know, out to the community as it's much needed.
Gratitude, brother. Gratitude. Yes, man. I think we should get right into it. So, I think a perfect way to get into it is let's exhibit a healthy practice. So, if y'all want to take this shot with me,
Yeah,
let's.
take
Yeah.
this shot.
What y'all drink? What y'all shooting up?
What you got? Orange juice. This is a fresh orange off a tree with some cayenne pepper.
Okay. And
It's, I got tangerine and lime juice right there.
Green lime. Yep. What you got, Vaughn?
I got some key lime. Don't forget the keys. The key lime with the cayenne pepper in there, a little mixture, a little concoction.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right, y'all. Salute.
Salute.
Cheers. Oh yeah, let's get the energy flowing right.
Peace. Thank you for everybody that's joining us. Thank you. I appreciate if everybody could leave a like, share if you will, comment, ask some questions. Let's get into it. It's a conversation.
So, if you what we just did is a little routine we do when we have time. It's just a cayenne citrus juice shot. That's gonna get your blood flowing. That's gonna get your oxygen, and it's gonna just hydrate you, give you a good boost of energy. And something we like to do to really celebrate life and health. You know what I mean? Not just as men, but just as a tribe. We believe in healthy practice. We know what healthy practice leads to. We live healthily, and so my question to y'all is, what are some of the practices that you incorporate in your everyday that really helps you just tap into yourself and keep your peace?
So for
Um,
me,
yeah,
uh,
go ahead, Paul.
some of the practices that I just tap into that really just allows that balance. Uh, I really love to do breath work, mindful breathing. I do this by sitting like in a meditative um, seated position, and I kind of just ground myself, and I just take long exhales and or long inhales and longer exhales, and a lot of times I would do guided breath work sessions. So I would just get on YouTube, and it's this guy. His name is Sandy, and he does some really good. He has some really good routines when it comes to breath work. So that kind of just helps me tap into my inner self, and then from breath work, I go in straight into meditation. Just being still, that stillness, and just allowing myself to hear that inner voice, listen to that inner voice, you know, and transmute it if if the voice is negative, or it's really just helping me with being guided by my higher self, you know. So that's just briefly some of the things that I tap into just to kind of keep me balanced, and it sets me up right before I go out into the world. Like that's like me, setting myself up with the layer of protection, before I go out into the world to make sure that I keep my peace and in my light.
That's dope because I know when you can control your breath and master your breathing, like you ever find yourself when you're panicked, you know what I mean? You gasping for air and
Mm.
you don't have control over your breath. So when you do tap into that breath control, you have a lot more self control and have a lot more control over your thoughts, your actions, and all those things combined. Like you said before, you step out into the world, which can be so just unknown, right? Like you don't know what to expect when you step out into these things. So when you can do that right when you rise, get that in, that section. I think that's beautiful, and
Mm.
for sure helped me a lot. Trying to get better at meditation myself, but man, it's a practice. Like you said, it's why it's practice. Work at it. That's how long breath work for? How long you been doing that for?
So I've been doing that. I started doing that like mid 2022
Right.
is when I started paying attention to breathing, just breathing in general. You know, I remember the first time somebody asked me to breathe, and it was just like it's like I was almost uncomfortable to just breathe, like take a deep breath, sigh it out, and without
Yeah,
making it look like something, like trying to make it look cute. Just I learned it and just let it out. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Sigh it out.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what it look like, you know. And so yeah, man, that's another way for me to reset. I could be going through something, emotionally, or the energy in my environment may not be right. Having that breath to just tap into when you need a moment, you'll be surprised how it's just like revitalize you and just like, resets your energy completely. You know? So yeah, I've been doing that since like mid 2022, and it's been a beautiful practice so far, brother. I didn't experience some great things, just from breathing. So yeah.
yeah.
For sure, for sure. I love it. Tiger, I know you got a lot of things to say about the breath. I know you
Oh,
take that very
I was
serious.
I was just listening to him, man, because I definitely agree. Diaphragmatic breathing is something that I've been practicing and teaching for about 7 years now. And the wild thing is first let me say it saved my life. It's deeper than what a lot of people say. Diaphragmatic breathing is something that helped me control a lot of the mental conditions without even using any herbs. So when you talk about things like ADHD, when you talk about bipolar, things like this, a lot of things, a lot of actions, right? Because this is, when you talk about divine masculinity, it's action oriented. And it involves a lot of confidence in what you're doing and what you're speaking. Um, when you don't have a lot of emotional intelligence, right? When you're just taking the emotions as they go, you lash out, to things that happen to you in society, you tend to get yourself into a lot of trouble. And that's what happened to me. Um, I just couldn't keep any type of relationships, whether it be with, friends or, women, females or men. It was just difficult, you know what I mean? Because, instead of, just listening, I was reacting. I was very reactive. I was a reactive person. So when I actually started taking that time to sit and say, take that diaphragmatic breathing, inhale for 3 or 4 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, and then release for 3 seconds, and then keep continuing that became the base for everything I did afterwards. As far as meditation, as far as getting in the right mood, as far as right before I came on right here, and right when I get ready to go live, before I have consultations, everything that I do has to have that breath work because the mind is traveling and doing all types of things. So yeah, it was definitely one of those things I would say that saved me and Matt, when we work out together, uh, that's one of the things I keep saying too. The breath, keep breathing,
Yeah.
take those deep breaths. You know, the life is in the breath. You know what I'm saying? Till your last breath.
I
So
share.
it's very, very, very important. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree, man. Hey, we be sleeping on that breath, man. Like I
oh,
noticed that being in the gym, a lot of guys, like even under the bench, we get on that bench and we hold our breath. And it's like,
yeah,
hey, you gotta breathe.
They got the vein popping, and their face is red, and
yeah,
Some people
for
actually develop
sure.
like hernias from, holding in a breath while heavy weightlifting. So, like Tiger said, it's life in the breath. It's your power is in the breath. There's strength in the breath. So when you got your breathing under control, you know, it just really it takes everything to the next level, man. Everything.
I
Yeah,
love
I mean, I just seen what's up. What's up? My sister Chastery is on here. She just said so many people don't know how to breathe properly. What's funny about that, Chast, is when I first started, I had a lot of younger students, right, or clients, you would say, right, and I had diaphragmatic breathing in all of my protocols because that's how important I think it is, right, and all of them reacted the same way. I was like, "Did you do the diaphragmatic breathing part?" They'd be like, "No." I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, I already know how to breathe. Come on, bro. Come on." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, "No, you don't. You don't know how to breathe." I
Yeah,
wouldn't have put it on there. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought I knew how to breathe. I was doing a lot of mouth breathing. So yeah, it's definitely important. Definitely important.
most
Don't
definitely.
skip it. That's like skipping leg day.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. But I feel like that's another topic to be had, because a conversation that needs to be had. Um, a lot of us, man, we just can't help that we inexperienced with a lot of this stuff. As when I was younger, the only time I remember taking mindful, inhales and exhales when I was at the doctor and they, you know, checking for a heartbeat and checking your sound and they tell you to inhale and that's when you really because you want to make sure that everything right. So yeah, man, we definitely been breathing the wrong way this entire time. So most definitely the practice is necessary. I would say it's a necessity. For real.
it. So, going into another one that I think is key that a lot of people in general, not just men, but people in general don't utilize enough is yoga.
Mm,
Um, Yoga is really what taught me that I did not know how to breathe properly. It
that's
taught
yeah,
I've
me too.
never taught my that I didn't have a yeah. See, um, but I was never mindful about my breath. Right. I didn't know how to breathe with my or how to move based upon my breath. Because a lot of people say, you gotta do the opposite. At least I've heard, but I like to move with my breath and not breathe with my movement. You know, so
Yeah.
as long as you inhale, you don't want to be doing too much with your body. You just want to be able to flow with your breath like that. So what yoga really taught me was also stillness. You know what I mean? How to hold your breath, when to breathe, and timing of your breath, how your mind muscle connection really opens up a lot of emotions as a man. So when you do yoga, you end up releasing a lot of bent up tension and tension that you don't even know you really have inside you. And when you do these poses, these emotions begin to pour out of you, and you kind of have to you know just figure it out. You got to you got to say, what is that? You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people look at yoga as a very feminine practice,
Mm,
but with that being said, I firmly believe, I want y'all perspective on this too. I believe that gender manifests itself on both planes and everything.
mm,
So we are the male gender in this plane, but everything has both. always. So when you tap into these things that may be perceived as fake, we really find balance and turn more peace and then more calm. So my question would be like, what do y'all think about yoga? Do you practice yoga? And what are your thoughts on that?
I think yoga is a great way to exercise or to I think yoga is a great way to achieve that balance between masculine and feminine. You know, that's something that you can engage into, you know, to restore that balance. And because like with my experience with yoga, I would say that it was very, you know, to yours. And yoga is what also introduced me into mindful breathing, you know, doing those poses and breathing, you know, into those poses. It just really helped me see, you feel me, where there was like a lot of, I don't know, like stagnant energy within my body, like in my hips, you know. And so yeah, that yoga has been a beautiful practice for me, and I feel like it's definitely one of those activities that helped me to restore, you know, restore balance when we talking about masculine and feminine energy.
Uh,
No, go ahead, Tag.
yeah. So it, I I don't do yoga. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I've tried it a couple times with a couple of different people, and I enjoyed it. I just feel like you know, uh, maybe I haven't done the right yoga with the right people. I don't have anything against it, but I do a lot of meditation. Like I do, like now, I do like 45-minute meditations, and in that meditation, I'll be doing different stretches, and they look like yoga poses. I'll be doing the downward dog or whatever that is. You see us doing it after the ab workout. I do different stretches, and before I go into any like workout. So I don't really have a big answer for that. I don't participate in a lot of yoga. And I think I asked you one time, man. I was like, next time y'all do the yoga, man, put me on.
Yeah,
Every experience I had with yoga was kind of extreme. The first time I even did yoga was on the Ab Ripper X. It was on the P90X, right? So the P90X has a section in it called Yoga X, and this yoga is extreme yoga. And that was the very first time that I ever tried it, and it was tough. If you do the P90X, the ab ripper with me, now you know how tough that is, right? That's not no normal core workout. So with yoga, um, it was pretty tough. You know what I'm saying? It was some pretty complex positions that they started us out with. It wasn't no beginner yoga. And then the next time I did yoga, I was actually filming at a yoga studio, and they were doing hot yoga, right? So that means they turn the heat up in there, right? They turn the heat up in that joint to the highest that it goes, and there was people in there sweating. Not people, me, I'm people. I was in there sweating so bad that I was recording, and there was sweat dropping onto the lens of my camera. You know what I'm saying? Because I was getting all these angles. People was in there doing handstands and all these other wild yoga poses. And I was like, man, I think yoga is not as simple as a lot of people say it is. But then, as I learned a little bit, I started seeing, a lot of seniors, a lot of older people doing the yoga, and there's so many different types of yoga. And then when I took an Ayurveda course, it was definitely one of those things in there that they definitely recommend that they definitely do it. So I wouldn't say I do yoga, but you know me, I don't like titles. but I do steal some of the poses from time to time to do a little bit of stretching.
Yeah, that totally counts. So you do yoga, you do. So I mean, all those things. Like I would just say, any form of stretching like that, where where you're really kind of yeah, thumbs up, yep, that's good. Putting your body through those movements, that's yoga. But I really view yoga as a way to really just release that tension. You know what I mean, emotionally and physically, because we have a lot of bent up tension as men. You know what I mean, and a lot of things that we, I don't know. I firmly believe that just as men, we don't we try to hold stuff in. You know what I mean. We don't feel comfortable saying a lot,
Yeah.
um, a lot of the and being our authentic self. So I think practice as do as men is affirm ourselves, and let each other have space to know that we can be ourselves in any light. Like there's nothing you have to hold back. There's nothing you can't say. This is a space that you can be your true self without any judgment.
Mm.
Because we are connected and we are reflection. You know what I mean? What you are, I am because we are. Shout out my other brother Curtis Love for that one.
Mm.
That's I am because we are. And
Shout out Kurt.
yeah, he says that a lot, and I love it. I resonate deeply with that because when I know that when one of the people I love hurts, I hurt, and when one of them is happy, I get overjoyed. You know what I mean? So we are all truly that way. And so that being said, too, I'll read y'all an affirmation real quick and affirm y'all because just us having this conversation itself is something I think a lot more people need to see. A group of men that really can tell each other how they feel about each other, love each other, and cultivate healthy practice.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Even before I read this, Vontae, would you mind speaking on what you did the other day? What you had told?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, man. The other day I was in the gym, and me and the guys had just finished our workout, and I had it on my mind already to record myself saying some affirmations. So that way I could. I'm always about putting out good, positive, loving, uplifting content. That's what I use my platform for. I don't use my platform for anything else other than spreading love and just sharing that health and showing people how to get healthy. But yeah, I told myself that I would do these affirmations, and so when I went to do these affirmations, my bro, he was standing on the side of me. He was watching me do it, and I'm recording myself, and I know that he watching me, right? So it's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I'm messing up with my words and things. So then I'm like, hey, bro, you know what? Why don't you just jump in too and throw an affirmation in there? You know? Hey, y'all, go back in there, mama. I'm on this car real quick. Take yours in there with y'all. Take them in there with you, baby. Take them. Just take your cherries in there, okay? Just take them in there. Daddy will be in there in a second, okay? Um, but yeah. So I'm like, bro, just jump in with me, you know, and you say an affirmation. I say one, you say one. And then some other guys had came over to dap us up. They was on their way out the door. And we was like, hey, yeah, peace, family. Enjoy the rest of your day. Before you leave, just drop an affirmation real quick. So then we end up having like 5 guys to say one affirmation. And it's like the power in that was us all coming together. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me sitting up there trying to do it all myself. Nah, we all came together, had some powerful affirmations to speak. And we did that. We said that, and I posted it and I shared it. And man, I had a goddess tell me that they had never seen nothing like that before a day in their life. And to me, it's like, dang, that's wild. But when I really think about it, I never seen anything like that, you know, coming from men. So, what is that about? Because we hear women speaking about affirmations all the time. I don't, but we rarely see any men speaking life into themselves, building themselves up. So what is that? Like, are we associating that with masculine and feminine energy? You know, it is okay to shower yourself with loving words. It's okay as a man to hug yourself at times, apologize to yourself, check in with yourself, do certain things, that's considered self-care, like going to get your feet done and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, I ain't gonna dig in too deep, but yeah, man, it was just a beautiful thing that me and the brothers had came together and did, and we created something so powerful, you know. And the goddesses, man, that they loved that energy, and it was something that they never seen before.
I love. That's one of the most beautiful things I've heard in a long time, and like you said, I think it speaks volumes that it was so
That's goes up.
foreign to our mind, right? It's foreign to our. It's like we've never seen things, so we gotta, you know, bring that to the fold. You know, to practice, to practice them via each other, but in environments where they're necessary. You know, where people could see that and be inspired to do those things for themselves and bring those affirmations to other people, man. Like to come home and say, "Hey, y'all, I had this stranger affirm me before well, when I left the gym, and then I affirmed him. I feel way better than I did yesterday leaving the gym. Like, I feel good about myself. I feel this. We need to pour into each other more, and truly show each other that love verbally. We need to speak life amongst each other, at every opportunity we can. And so, that being said, I just want to read this to y'all real quick. Shout out my brother Gary Shepard. It's his solar return today. Um, and last yesterday night, I had affirmed him over this affirmation because he's going through so many beautiful doors of opportunity and positive change right now. And it's because, well, I'm just gonna read it. You're gonna understand why it resonates with the things he's been doing to himself. As I speak, I create. So it is. I am magic. I speak life, so I live well. I am a great man because I am focused on my vision. I practice healthy self care. I am direct action. I rise above my emotion, yet I have felt and am still feeling, but I finally feel as a healing man. I feel as a healthy man. My outcomes are absolute because I care enough about myself to own my responsibilities. I will never forget my past because it is a part of me, but I do not let it define my future. I am stuck in potential, but I am seeking and speaking things that will go right for me through the power of my words and my willpower. I am calm in every and all terrain. Ashe.
Okay.
Hey, that was beautiful, brother.
Yeah. So I wanted to tap in real quick because when I used to when we first started doing affirmations, probably about 8 or 9 years ago, um, when Monica used to play them, she used to go to YouTube and find them, and there would always be, uh, some lady on there, you know what I'm saying, saying these affirmations, and I never felt connected to them. I would always listen to the frequency music and things like that, and then they would say these affirmations over them. They would say them over and over again. And Monica would never say them, but I guess she was doing them in her head or something. I don't know. But I remember um, not feeling really connected with them. So whenever you say your affirmation, or whenever I say my affirmations to myself in my head, um, that tends to work best. Like I said, whenever I hear you say them, I feel like it is a reflection. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's just hearing another male talk with confidence, like you said, giving yourself so much light. Um, but like I said, that's a gift of yours, bro. Whenever you read off them affirmations, um, I feel like I'm able to relate to them. Um, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that because I just remember when I was listening to those affirmations and things on YouTube before, right around the time when I was learning what an affirmation was and the power of it. I was listening to, I forget who she used to listen to. She used to listen to a couple of them, but they would always be, you know, some middle aged woman, affirming her, you know, affirming things that she was involved in, and she would say, "Repeat after me," and do all that. And I just couldn't imagine myself doing it because I couldn't relate to it. Um, but like hearing the male say it, I can relate to it a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, indeed. It's all comes back to just the influence of other men. Being around other men that you can grow and uplift with. And I mean, and continue to cultivate with each other. So that kind of leads into my next question. I never really had uh, a male role model in my life. You know what I mean? To kind of mold after. I was my mom was the one who really showed me a lot of the ways of life, and my grandmother as well. So I grew up always being looked at as more feminine because all I knew was really love and nurture. You know what I mean? I was always a pretty peaceful, calm person. I wasn't aggressive in any type of way. Um, and a lot of people thought I was gay straight up, like for the longest time. And I didn't mind. I mean, it was just like, yeah, perception, people might have if you're just more in your loving space, at least dealing with myself. And I just say all that to say, I think male role models are very important just because it teaches you how to be a man. And I didn't really have that until I got into this type of space. I mean, I just been kind of free flowing myself. Like my mother was my like my male influence. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my mother was kind of like both parents, you know what I mean? And that's just how I had to navigate that. And I didn't really know what it meant to be a man for a long time until I met like individuals like y'all and other people in this community, And my question to you guys would be, what was your male influence like growing up, and how did that kind of get you to the point where you are right now?
Um, I can answer that. Mine was a lot. Any and everybody. I if I wasn't learning from my grandmother, just the core principles of the feminine energy, and my mom, she did her best at her younger age, and as far as male role models, it was any and everybody. It was rappers. It was LL Cool J. It was football players. Tony Dorsett. It was you know entertainers and uh, guys that lived in the projects around me. Some of my older cousins, my older brother. They all chipped in. As far as learning some aspects on what it takes to be a man, or at least be able to hold that masculine energy. So I contribute a lot to them, but I feel like I was well balanced because of the women that I had in my life as well. Um, I had a lot of I still have a lot of great aunties. Like I said, my grandma was a big part of my life. I had a lot of even in coming up in school, I was friends with a lot of females, a lot of women, a lot of girls. So yeah, I think that kind of shaped the balance of who I am. But as far as being a male, I was one of those people that were glued to the TV for entertainment, those type of role models. And then I played football. Football was a big part that structured me, and I started to look up to the coaches and other people and seniors on the team and how they were moving and how they were. getting their success. So football played a big part in teaching you the core values and how to share and how to become a team and how to put your masculine energy together to achieve a goal, right? When you talk about divine masculine, it's action oriented, it's confidence, it's practical, things like that. So, I would say sports helped mold me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can relate, man. I can honestly say the same because I can't think of any male role model that I've had in my life coming up. It was always just me and my mom, and my older brother, you know, and I ain't really have no influences coming from him, good or bad. But I would say that it was, I've always been around. My friends have always been older than me, so I've taken a lot from them, learned a lot from some of my older friends, and just like Tiger said, with me being involved in sports, that also helped me, you know, with just structure, discipline, some of them masculine, that masculinity. But and it was also too, like over the last couple of years, I kind of just been tuning in to different podcasts, 19 Keys and leaders like that, to just pour into me. And so yeah, man, over the past couple of years, I really just been soaking it up. And honestly, this is something that I never learned until now, I'm still learning. Like I'm in the process of healing and growing in this right now as we speak. So every day, I'm getting better, and spending time in self awareness and reflections it helps me. You feel me, to navigate through certain situations and stuff like that. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to think, a lot of males nowadays have those similar issues because of the absent fathers. A lot of them are absent fathers. So, it's really the luck of the draw, depending on what your environment is, on who we tend to look up to and where we get our inspiration from. Uh, you know, I feel like, it depends on your environment that you're in. Like I said, I was lucky enough to have a lot of older brothers, cousins, and things like that, to be able to set me in the right direction and set me straight. But I definitely had some daddy issues for sure. Even though those people were in your life, you're still dealing with some deep seated issues.
Hmm.
Waiting around for pops to show up, lying to people in school saying your dad is this and he does this and he's coming to pick me up, knowing that never happened. And those things, you grow up with those things and they become, uh, you know, and I think that those are the things that society confuses with toxic masculinity, not knowing how to even take that, how to express that, how to internalize that, and how to transmute that into something positive in your life.
Yep, yep. I think above um, all these things, man, it taught me a lot of what not to do. You know what I mean? I feel like all these things taught me how to be a good, or whether that as a brother, as a son, when I eventually become a father, like all these things, like how I am to myself. Like when I
Mm,
when I see other men treat people a certain way, um, themselves a certain way, it really teaches me what not to do.
mm,
And you know what I mean? It reminds me of of the importance of truly loving myself, so I can be the best man I can be for those in my life.
mm, right.
Like I want to be the best man I can be for the people that interact with me. You know what I mean? take away from anybody. I wanna provide and I wanna protect and I wanna keep peace.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And that's really at the forefront of what my mindset has been as of late. And just trying to like the other day, Vontae, we talked in just about what did I do today. And, at the end of the night, you should just ask yourself, what did I do today as a man? Like, how was I like a self evaluation? You know what I mean? And you don't have to self and judge your decisions or judge what you did, but really analyze and ask yourself, could I have been better today? What can I work on? What can I control better tomorrow? Oh, did I react a certain way? This emotion? Did I make a wrong decision like this? You know what I mean? But really sitting with self and trying to really put energy into getting better. And I think that is a lot to do with and in terms of you know what I mean, not sitting as to all these destinations, but actually deciding, look, this is what I could have done better. Let me do that.
mm.
And I firmly know that to be at least my definition of being a better man for myself every day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Is making a decision when decisions have to be made
yeah.
uh, to be better.
Um, and yeah, yeah,
But so leading into that, Tiger,
yes, sir.
you are in a relationship, uh,
Yes, sir.
a beautiful that. Um,
It's all
but
right. Sorry, no.
that's how important is it, brother, because I see how you two interact, and it's truly amazing. And I mean, just how important is it to have somebody who can, uh, back somebody you, but also, you know what I mean. You guys balance it. You know what I mean. How important is it to have that divine feminine energy with you?
Man, having Monica is first. Let me say, I truly know that she is a divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? Um, she taught me through action and being there and being a nurturer and all these things what a divine feminine was. And um, for her being a divine feminine, it made me want to be a divine masculine. It made me want to really step my game up. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the balance. When you talk about divine masculine and feminine energies, they're complementary. They're complementary. They complement each other. And just like any relationship, whenever you can combine with somebody with similar energy and ideologies, it can make that grow into something that you wouldn't even imagine. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what drives it. When I think of that, I think of the yin yang sign with the black dot being in the white and the white dot being in the black, and they're both driving each other. That's kind of how I look at our relationship. Um, I'm still learning every day. You know what I'm saying about you know how to make different approaches and how can I be better. You know what I'm saying, and she does the same. You know what I mean. So I think when these energies are in balance, man, they create a harmonious relationship that it can continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? I think all relationships you have to leave a little bit of room for growth. So it's a continuous learning thing. It's a continuous respect thing for each other's energies, and we help balance each other out.
Mm, I love it, and so interesting
Peace,
because
family. I don't know what happened, but it's like y'all volume went down. I can barely hear y'all.
Really,
here's
you may
I
have to
can hear
tap
you.
out and
I
come
can
back
hear
in.
you just a little bit.
yeah,
Um,
out and then yeah, we'll bring it back in.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I think that's beautiful. It's really when I look at your relationship, it really me look forward to whenever my next relationship is. You know what I mean? Because the way that I know I used to be in my relationships. I wouldn't necessarily say I was, a bad partner, but I mean, I had a lot of, things that I was doing that was not right. You know what I mean? Like I was, yeah, I was young, but I was just making dumb decisions. You know what I mean? And I was definitely
You were
tapping in.
learning.
Yeah, I was learning, right? Trying to navigate things, but now that I know better, I'm very, very excited to be a good man for the next, partner I have.
Mm.
A great man at that. And I just think, like you said, that balance is just very necessary. And I think just a lot of it's hard for men because a lot of women just come with the perspective that we all suck. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just
let me
it's
put it like this. Let me put it like this. This is the perspective I view it as. I don't see a lot of divines outside of our community, and I'm just going to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Uh, what I feel like when people start to really evaluate themselves and they really start to love themselves more, take care of themselves more, I think that divinity starts to happen where you respect yourself, you have empathy for others, and then we get into talking about emotional intelligence. Um, you're self aware, right? You're self regulated. You're motivated, you have empathy, social skills. All these things are traits of emotional intelligence, right? So I feel like when people start going on their journey, whether it be fruit, whether it be herbs, whether it be vegetables, whether it be taking care of yourself, whether it be working out, whether it be meditating, those are all self love activities. When you're able to practice self love, you're able to um, have that empathy and be able to see that in somebody else. And I think that is really what makes you divine. You know what I'm saying? And that divine masculine, that divine feminine. And that goes with both women and males. When you begin to work on yourself, when you begin to, show yourself that self love, it breaks into a whole nother tier. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you really begin to identify with people. You really get to see them as mirrors because you're like, hey, um, yeah, you understand what they had to go through, what that person had to go through to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like real recognizing real almost. You know what I mean? That's how I
yeah,
look at it.
yeah, definitely because once what you put out, you attract what comes back to you. So I had brought that first point up just because I feel like once you begin to work on yourself, right, those things, I mean, you just have a different energy about you. You know what I mean? You don't. It's a lot of I would say a lot of men that I've experienced in my life just have like a palpable energy about them that is like I guess you could call like a turnoff. It's like you know what I mean. It's like a primal kind of desperation. You understand?
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean, and it's very aggressive.
Well, it's old school, bro. It's toxic masculinity, which actually didn't even start. That they termed that word in the '80s. I think a guy, I can't even remember his name. He started it in the '80s, and he was mainly talking about characterizing his father, who was like a militant style person. Um, he was like he had his roots in like gender roles, and he believed that you had to be dominant, you had to be strong and assertive. You know what I'm saying? Which is true in some aspects, but it was more like a militant mindset. And I feel like that gets mixed up with toxic masculinity because uh like I said earlier, when you don't know how to control your emotions, you just end up lashing out. Whatever comes out, and it's usually anger. You know what I'm saying? But when you learn to control that, you gain that emotional intelligence, which I think anybody can tap into. Um, but yeah, I don't
And
see Vaughn here trying to Vaughn. If you're out there, man, tap back in. But we got a couple of questions up here. If you wanted to answer those, we got some family in here interacting. I don't want to leave them on hold.
yeah, let's talk
Uh,
about it. Let me
Okay.
let me message Vaughn real quick and just see if he
Okay.
can get back in.
So is this energy in everyone? Cass said, is this energy in everyone, and how do we tap into it? What energy we talking about? We talking about Cass? Are we talking about the emasculation of masculinity? Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. But as far as how to uh tap in or awaken masculine energy, um, I think you should acknowledge the presence of both in women and men. That's a good way to uh, be able to have that empathy and have that mirror to be able to put yourself in another space in another position. Um, uh, you know, nurture the positive aspects of masculinity. Uh, you know, and basically just take on challenges that don't require a winning result. You know what I mean? That brings in competitiveness, and that could get um, it can get competitive, and when it gets too competitive, you get division, right? And we don't want more. We don't need any more division in the male and female, uh,
Yeah,
race here. You know what I mean? We don't need any more division. We need more love. We need more men and women loving each other.
yeah.
That's just what I feel.
I think we need less competition and more influence. And more.
Oh,
Like not everything has to be a competition. Nothing is a competition. You know what I
right,
mean? It's not. I'm not here to be better than you, and no
right,
one's trying to be better than. Well, people try to be better than other people, but nobody's better than anybody. It's just we need to shift perspective as men. I look up to you.
right.
I respect you. I value you. I love you. You know what I mean? Like I love things you do for yourself. How do
Mm,
I, you know what I mean? How do I implement those things? You know what I mean? Like I just think, as men, I just think we could learn a lot from the women in our lives. You know what I mean? Just being more nurturing to each other.
right.
You know what I mean? And to self. Real self mastery and self love for oneself. I think a lot of men just don't even know how to do that, and that's the sad part. You good, fam?
Yeah, go ahead, man. My bad.
No, that's all I was touching on. It was just there we go.
My bad, family. My phone been acting weird lately. I do know that when
So,
I get on here and speak some high level stuff, they trying to interrupt it.
Yeah, you know
uh,
how that goes. It's all right.
we got a couple more questions here. Did you want to answer those, or do you want to go back in? I think this is pretty good. Some pretty good questions here.
Yeah, no, let's keep going. Let's answer some more.
Okay. So Chad says, what about the emasculation of masculinity?
Cass asked the best questions.
You want to speak on that, Vaughn?
Um,
Because
yeah,
I mean, we can't act like we don't see it out here. That's all I see is the
This is
emasculation
I'm trying to
yeah.
say.
It's like it.
systematically.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Um,
they we've all been trained and conditioned to always be tough. You know,
mhm,
uh, it's a lot of different scenarios, man. Like even with myself, I can remember times that like when I first found out that I had a child on the way, and it's like, okay, I know I'm gonna be that protective father, you know, and but it's like I had energy like, I can't wait till somebody try to do my child wrong, or let Nick put his hands on my child, or you feel me, cuss my child out, or anything like that. Just like I can't wait for a situation for me to be able to protect my child. And it's like, why am I having that type of energy? You know what I'm saying? Uh that wish a nigga would type of little mentality, you
mhm,
know? So yeah, man, I feel like it's just been thrown on us always to just be in this, in this tough energy, and like we
Mm-hmm.
always got something to prove. We always been taught to, chest up, head out, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, I feel like that created, an imbalance, because now we don't know when we need to be,
Yeah.
more of our feminine energy, like how when we in our relationships. And I would say that, that's something that I needed to know with being in a relationship. And I would say that's the reason why I'm not in a relationship right now,
Yeah.
because it was times where harmoniously there needed to be a balance. You feel me? There needed to be peace. There needed to be um just free of conflict, and it's about allowing both of masculine and feminine energy, both of those qualities, you feel me, allowing those to work together smoothly and complementing each other, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying. And so when we talking about in relationships, we talk about coexisting with mutual respect and understanding, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, man, yeah, I feel like it's just been thrown on us, man, like
Yeah.
that, and that's what's creating this imbalance.
Yeah. I feel like it's a lot of what I said a little bit earlier. It's not just little boys that are left with their mothers. A lot of these single mothers. It's a lot of girls that are left with these single mothers too. So
Yeah.
they're having daddy issues as well. And their idea of what a man should do and it should be skewed. It's just straight up like that, and to the point where um, you know, a lot of young women out here nowadays, they believe in the same what I was saying, the toxic masculinity. Um, they actually believe that their men, some of these men should be acting like this. They love to get their men in a situation where they get into a fight. Even socially, you're looking at socially. If a man turns down sex, then he's looked at as what? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but I don't know, man. Like, is that an ego thing or what? Like, is that just something just to put off on a man because they got um what's the word I'm looking for? Rejected, like, and so we know that when we dealing with ego, rejection is one of the things that can bring out your ego, and say
Right,
some things that you may not truly mean, but it's just it ain't me, so it
right,
gotta be him. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, so yeah, yeah, I
So,
definitely.
so a dude, even though he might not like her, he might go ahead and mess with her anyway because he don't want to be looked at as like that. That's what I mean by, you know, uh, you know. But society as a whole tries to emasculate the man. In movies they try to make men wear dresses and things like that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, they trying to make the women be more masculine. And then that's another part of the single parent household as well. I believe that plays a major part in our development and our understanding of the masculine and feminine role. Um, you know, I believe it has to not only be taught as a young age, but it's a good example to have a role model, like you said. And a lot of us just don't have them. A lot of us, like I said, are role models or football players. All these celebrities and things like that. So we're looking up to these rappers and stuff like that. So um, you know, when they talk, when these rappers talk, especially what hip hop is built on. You know what I'm saying? It's uh it's built on, slapping a woman up and women in the background and things like that. So that's just what we learn. You know what I'm saying? When we don't have a father or a male role model or a father figure to show you the right ways to go, you tend to just go with the flow. You know what I mean? You learn from the people around you. So hopefully you got some good people around you, like I had to be able to create that sense of balance.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of pressure too to just present yourself as a type of way because you don't want to be looked at as less than when people already might look at you as that.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, it's a lot of pressure to
Yeah.
come a certain way that is
Yeah.
unnecessary. That leads to a lot of, I think, rash decision making, overthinking, and less knowing of self.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and like I was saying, I didn't mean to get off topic when I was saying it was systematically, but um, this is historical. Where they teach the man he has to be assertive, he has to be strong, he has to be all these things. Um, but look at the household. You know, as far as if you, I know you're. Are you a single dad, or you got sole custody of your kid?
I
Bond.
would. I don't. I would. I don't. I wouldn't say. I guess I would say I'm a single father, but no, I don't
Okay.
have. We
Oh,
have
okay.
custody. You know.
Oh,
So.
okay. Yeah. Um. You know, because I know. You know, they. I was talking to somebody about it earlier today. Just in society, whenever um, you know you have the man and the woman going for sole custody of the kid, or they're going for custody battles or whatever. You know, the woman is favored. You know what I'm saying? And for a woman to even get some type of assistance, they have to attack the man. The man automatically becomes the enemy at that point. You know what I'm saying? And then we know how it goes from that point on. So I think society created this illusion to where they you take the man from the household, um, you know that, and then you leave, and then you provide for the woman, and you be the only one to provide for that woman. You're basically taking over as the head of that household.
Okay.
The government is basically taking over for the head of that household. So some situations are like that. Not all, but yeah, I think systematically, as a whole, those are some of the things that demasculate the man, emasculate the man.
Yeah, and I feel like because I agree with you on that, and I felt like that before. Like they want to move the men out of the household and then take over our position. So it's like
Yeah,
now the government is the daddy, is
right,
the head of the household.
right,
And I feel like what this does to the woman psychologically is create that overbalance of masculine. You feel me? Because now they feeling like they don't need a man. Now,
yeah,
now they feeling like, oh, they don't need no daddy. They kids don't
yeah,
need no daddy. Like I
yeah,
take care of everything. We got food. We got money to pay the bills. We in low income.
yeah,
So it's just like I'm I'm taking care of everything. I'm
right,
providing everything. We don't need you. And
right,
now they feeling more in their masculinity. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And
right,
less in their femininity. Like, and I feel like a goddess, you need a man to to make you feel soft and make you just feel just sit back. Just sit back, chill, let me take the wheel, and just be soft, be pretty, and just focus on that. Like, but when we not there, they have to be hard and do everything on their own, take out the trash, do the dishes and things like that. So
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, I definitely feel that side too because I watch a lot of women struggle. You know what I'm saying? Without the man being there, you know what I'm saying? And to have to take on those roles. So having to take on those roles is something completely different. And it's another thing too that I said I was blessed to have Monica in my life at the time where I got full custody of my son because I don't feel like I was ready at that time to take over fully as sole custody for my son. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Even though that's what I was trying to do, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't feel like I was ready. So she was there to provide that feminine balance, that feminine energy.
Hmm. We got a good question down in there.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was. Uh,
is
I
it
was just.
Nana?
Yeah, I
Mm.
was just on that right there because that's a big one. I realized that to deal with my emotion, I really had to myself. I realized I didn't know myself and why certain ways I was having such emotion. I really had to sit with myself. A lot of that was through things like, I guess I wouldn't call them affirmations, my journaling, like writing,
Yeah.
journaling to myself and getting to know my environment. Why am I acting? Why am I what's causing to have these emotions? Am I acting the best way off of my emotions? And it took a long time. Like it took a whole retooling of myself to really tap into to that, and my emotional self. And then it at this point, I have emotion, but I try not to act upon my emotion because I know emotion. But I'm very emotional. You know what I mean? I am very emotional. But I feel, like I said earlier, I feel finally my emotions as a healthier,
Mm.
so I know how to handle my. And Tiger, you say this a lot. I have emotional intelligence. So I guess my word to myself, or my answer to that question would just be I had to write. I had to sit with. I had to feel my emotions and not throw them to the wayside. Shut them off and try. Um, because the only way to really and your emotions, try to understand, tell you about yourself.
Yeah, most definitely, bro. For me, it's self awareness and reflection. You know, it's having the ability to consciously observe your thoughts, and emotions and behaviors, and understand how they influence your life. A lot of times I feel like um, we respond in a way that's like we respond out of fear, out of unconscious conditions. So sitting with myself, doing things like journaling, meditation, having deep conversations with myself
Mm.
allows me to identify with certain patterns, different patterns and how I respond to different situations.
Yeah,
So that's sitting with yourself, allowing yourself to feel, man. You
that's
know,
it.
it's if you're not feeling, you're not healing, you're not revealing, you know, you
Yes,
suppressing. You suppressing it, you pushing it up under the rug, and it really takes you to sit with yourself and allow yourself to feel to where you see that it's a lot of releasing that needs to be done, man. Like it's okay to cry, you know, and release those heavy emotions because that's the
yeah,
only way that you can release them. And once you released about it once, you might release about it again, but crying really helps you to heal, man, and get over things and move forward. So, yeah.
yeah. I can relate, man. I was gonna say, I wrote down some things here that because I have this discussion about emotional intelligence all the time. I think it's very important for both male and female. And I wrote some ways down that I did kind of like affirmations to help me practice emotional intelligence. So um, one of them is being able to accept criticism and responsibility, being accountable, and another one is being able to move on after a mistake. That was a big one for me. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a lot of males, I think they want to be able to, you know, try to power through something, being able to accomplish something. But being able to, give yourself some grace and move on instead of being hard on yourself is a big way to definitely practice emotional intelligence. Being able to say no when you need to. Okay, that's a big one. Not being a people pleaser, being able to really hold that space for yourself. Not trying to be there for everybody and everyone. Just being able to you know, sit with yourself, sit with your, you guys already said it, being able to sit with your feelings, sit with those emotions, and start to look at them from different points of view. Um, and I think another one too is being able to share your feelings, which was really hard for me. That's having those fruitful conversations, those real hard, tough conversations. Um, but then once you have them, man, you feel like a weight is lifted off you. You feel like, man, I can fly now, right? And I just want to be honest with everything. I just want to do, you know what I mean? So that's sort of what comes off of that. And then, uh, you know, having empathy, most important, having empathy for other people, to be able to put yourself in another person's position is definitely, a big point to be able to practice emotional intelligence.
Yeah, yeah, y'all real truth about it because I just think communication is the most important thing. Like being able to communicate with yourself, being able to communicate with others because then you're not gonna know what you're even talking about. You know what I mean? You're just gonna be lost within yourself. You're not gonna know what to say. You're not gonna know how to feel.
Right.
You're gonna so I think it has to be at the forefront of everything we do, and just honesty of what it is. Like, we should be honest with ourselves. And I think Ron, you hit yourself to feel the emotion it is, and so that way you can move forward. Really, to just have self control over those things.
Yes.
Let your emotions run wild. You can't even
Yes.
stay focused. You can't remain. You know,
Yes.
I think that all three
Matt,
of
you're
us.
breaking up. People are saying you're breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit on my end too, but I thought it was
Yeah,
just me.
Oh, I'm breaking up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
yeah, me too. I ain't want to say nothing. Y'all know my phone raggedy.
So I just looked something up. Well, I'll wait till Matt jumps back on.
My bad. I keep on getting up too, y'all. I'm tending to the kids.
Man, don't even worry about that. This is a conversation. You know what I mean? This is
Yeah,
real life things happen. You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
here
Real
though.
life things happen in real time.
Is that better?
Real
A
time.
lot better.
I'm over here nurturing the
All
That's a lot
baby.
better. Oh, it's all good, man. Don't even worry about it. So,
Can't see
so
you
I
all the
just
way, though,
looked
fam.
up. I
Can you hear me?
looked up. You know me about words and terms, right? So I just looked up toxic masculinity. It actually, I was right. It actually did emerge. It's a new word. It just came out in the 1980s. It was coined by a man named Shepard Bliss, who confirmed and coined it. He coined the term to characterize his father's militarized authoritarian masculinity. So his dad was really, abusive and things like that. So he coined that term, toxic masculinity, which I don't like terms and I don't like titles being placed upon people. You know what I'm saying? I think anybody is capable of being toxic, whether you're masculine or feminine. Anybody's capable of toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that's where that term was coined from, and it says it has its roots in historical cultural norms and traditional gender roles that have been passed down for generations. Historically, societal expectations placed men in dominant roles where they were encouraged to be strong, assertive, and emotionally reserved. Now, I would agree with strong and assertive, but emotionally reserved, that's the one right there. Because what you're saying is you're going to suppress your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Ignore these emotions. Whatever these emotions are, don't don't address them. Stay strong, right? Stay assertive. Don't let them see you cry, right? So that's the only one thing that I have a problem with that. And I was talking about it a couple weeks ago, Matt. You already know. Uh, when it was the Texans. I was watching the game, and it was one of the Texans players got hurt really bad. It was like a season-ending injury, and the
Yeah.
quarterback, um, what's the boy name? The quarterback for the Texans.
I don't keep up with football, bro. I'm not sure. Is it? I'm gonna
He's
take
a
a
young
guess.
boy. He's a new kid.
Yeah,
Dang, I can't
I'm
remember
not
his
sure.
name.
I don't keep up with football like that. I'm not sure, but I remember you told me like the reaction, the response. They were mad at him. Like they were. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They weren't showing sympathy or empathy for him.
yes,
They were bagging on him and bashing him.
yeah. They was mad because he was
Mhm.
crying at a football
Yeah.
game. You know what I'm saying? But he
Right.
was crying for his brother. At that point, he didn't see he didn't care about the game being played. He didn't care about what the stakes were at that time. All he saw was one of his brothers that he battled with since training camp and who knows how much longer before that. Work hard to, achieve a certain status. Obviously to be in the NFL to achieve elite status and to have his career possibly ended in one play. You know what I'm saying? So he was more responding to that is why the reason that he was crying. And then you start listening to the commentators after a couple minutes, they was like, he shouldn't be there crying. Oh, don't put the camera on him. Don't do, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
thought that was, a perfect example to how society wants you to suppress those emotions. They don't want you to be able to deal with that. That would have been a strong moment right there. You know what I'm saying? To be able to, you know what I mean? To let your brother know, like, look, I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go out and win this for you, or we're pulling for you. You know what I'm saying? We're praying for you. You know what I'm saying? But that's
Mhm.
not the image they wanted to portray. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to portray, all right, that's over, play's over. Let's get back to business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's just an example of how society is.
Yeah, brother. I think it's just a shame, and I think that's why these conversations have to be had. You know what I mean? It's just,
Absolutely.
and these practices that we do have to be done more and introduced to more people because the world we live in is very toxic in that way, and it's just that there needs to be a balance via us men. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a pushback because I feel like one thing that happens a lot too is men just like to side. You know what I mean? With the greater energy at that time. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah.
Whatever is more. I would say what's the word I'm looking for? Just the crowd. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
the crowd.
whatever the
Yeah,
popular
exactly.
thing
Yeah,
is. Whatever
yeah.
the societal norm is nowadays, that's what Chad said.
Right. Exactly.
People don't
So
like to rock the boat. Especially a lot of dudes don't like to rock the boat.
exactly. So I just think it's time, brother, that we just make change. You know what I mean? It's about time for change, man,
Yeah,
and letting things go, man,
yeah,
is what's happening right now. We just have to let things go and begin new practices. Begin new
right.
tradition, begin new relationships as men, and just share more.
We talked
So
about this before. We talked about tradition, remember? And how we don't
yeah,
like tradition because
yeah,
um, of the attachment, right? The
right.
attachment to that tradition is so strong that anything that's introduced that causes evolution or even the thought of evolving, it gets it gets shot down. You know,
Mm. And
so
that's the thing too. Like how can we continue to grow as men if we stop getting like if we stop evolving, like, you know what I mean, if we stay
right,
the same all the time,
right,
like, you know what I mean, it can't work hand in
right,
hand like that. But
right.
I'm just I don't know about you, but I mean, things just like as simple as this conversation have been healing to me.
Yes,
And you know what I mean, and
has been.
it's a beautiful thing to do with people that I want to respect, but two, just like I said, men that I can look up to. You know what I mean? Having that space as men to be there for each other and open up and have these real conversations about things
Absolutely.
that are going on in our environment. So I don't know where Vaughn went, but we are over a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to add, my brother? Any more questions we could ask real quick, or anything else you got?
Let me see in here. I don't think there's any more questions. Unless somebody wants to pop up a question real quick. If there's nobody that has any questions, I just want to say I appreciate everybody that came on today, added to the conversation. I think we need that. Um, Definitely, the a woman's perspective and opinion is not only welcome here, but is very valued when we're talking about even uh, masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a balance. So I appreciate all my sisters tapping in. I appreciate my brother Marcus Juice Doc Hart that just joined. I appreciate everybody that came in and dropped a comment, a like, a share, a hey, a hello, a hi. We appreciate it. And that's about it for me, man. Thank you for our brother Vaughn that came on. He's a very high level brother. It's really uh, the very first time that I had a conversation with him, which was interesting. We had it live. You know what I'm saying? And he's a deep brother, and somebody I'm looking forward to, having more of these conversations with as well. And speaking of that, this is part one of many conversations of divine masculine. Am I correct?
Yeah. So how it's gonna work is, we're just gonna bring more men into the space. You know what I mean? To speak their mind, speak their truth, and we're gonna have more good talks because a lot of men are in this space. I feel like, man, like one of the things in the community that really struck me at first was how the lack of healed men, or let me not say healed because we're all healing still, but you know what I mean. Like I just didn't see a lot of male representation. You know what I mean? There was not that there wasn't any, but it just wasn't a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean. And I really was thinking about that, and I was saying, man, like I just feel like more men need to be showcased in a healing state. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so and then just in a positive light. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is going to be one of many episodes of bringing on high level individuals as men that take healthy practices into their life and are on the a path of healing.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to continue these conversations and have more of them because they are healing indeed. So appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate my
Yes, sir.
brother Vaughn and everybody that's here. And with that being said, we're gonna close out and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace and love.